Okay, we are live. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Julie Becker and Letitia Merlin here, joining you on the Women of Top Team Hangout. We're a little small tonight. Some people had some sickness and some other things going on, but we are still here to give you some great information. And thank you all for taking some time out of your schedule to come hang out with us and to get some great information on what we are doing. Letitia and I are both building e-commerce businesses with INFINii. We sell on eBay, Amazon, Shopify, and we learned how to do that with the training inside of INFINii. And so we've been successful at it. We have really learned a lot. We've enjoyed it. We are both team building as well and sharing this with other people because this methodology and this business model has worked really, really well for us. So we just enjoy coming out every week and giving people different information about how this business works, new things that are coming out and going on with INFINii. We do talk about other things too, like life is in general with respect to women in business and, issues that we deal with in particular, things that are important to us because we do think quite a bit differently than men, thank goodness. And, there's different things that are important to us, and we've talked about that on some of the other Hangouts. But I did want to spend a little time tonight, Letitia and I were just talking about this a little bit here before the Hangout started, about difficulties and having to have, mental toughness to get through tough situations because sometimes in life and business, you just run across those things. And, you may see Letitia and I out on Facebook or out on YouTube and, just think, man, they have got so put it together. Life is just good for them. They just are blessed and they just, it just comes in. They're at that point and I just don't even think I could ever get there. It's just on my heart tonight to just tell you that, that isn't always the case. We work hard to get the results that we get. And I will say, I'm not going to share the details, but I will say I'm going through, a rough patch, in my life, not my business, but my life right now. And, my life is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It is not. I have struggles. I have problems in the real world because that's where I live. But I am very mindful of my attitude. Do I feel pain? Yes. Do I have days that are where I have, just moments that are just hard to deal with? Yes. But I recognize that I can't get to where I want to go if I just give up, if I just roll over, if I just don't push on. I'll never get what I want. And it's important, if it's really important to you, you have to find a way. You have to find a way to push through it and move on. Because with women, I think that is really hard. I mean, we tend to be more emotional, and that can be very hard because emotions drive our decisions more than logic sometimes, and it's because of how we are and how we're structured, and we're also very social, and emotions are good. They're your compass for telling you what to do. But sometimes, when things are tough, they can run around all over the place. So, just if any of you are out there and you're having a hard time in your life right now, or something is it's not going the way you want it to, and you're so frustrated and you're, or maybe you're hurt, or maybe you're just, stuck. I just want you to know that, we have been, I mean, I'm there a little bit right now in one aspect of my life. Other people are going through other things. We are not, we're not superheroes, but, I'm on a mission, and it might be tough right now, and I might not get everything done, but I'm gonna stay on track. I'm not gonna get derailed. I'm going to, focus as much as I can. I'm going to, just remember that You know, I focus on things that I'm grateful for, which I am very grateful for this business because, you know, it gives me freedom, and I'm not just gonna give up on it or turn my back on it. You know, my kids are very important to me, and, you know, rough patches are hard to go through, but you know what? I've got to persevere and go on because you know what? They need me. They need me to be strong. They need me to not give up. They need me to persevere, because number one, they need me to be there, and number two, they need me to teach them how to do that. Because when things get rough in life, you can either curl up, and you can do that for a little while, as long as you get up, you know. But you've got to learn how to roll with things and to get up. And it's so I just wanted to talk about that a little bit tonight, and share that with you, because I think so many people just, you know, they look at people online, and a lot of marketers and things out there, you know, they're very polished, they're very put together, they're constantly like, yeah, this is great, and this is great, and this is great. And that's what marketers do, and there's a reason for that. And a lot of times things are going really great, but I do want you to remember that, you know what, nobody is immune to problems. Everybody at some point in their life is going to have problems and obstacles and shortfalls and things that come and sideswipe them out of thin air. It happens to everyone. So just I want you all to have some perspective and know that, because, you know, we are just like everyone else. I promise you, we're just like everyone else. And, you know, things happen. Things happen to everyone, good things and bad things, unfortunately. And you just have to, you know what, I mean, if you want to come get connected up with us, get connected up with us so we can help lift you up. You know, that's what's so great about being in this group. I love these ladies. I love this team because you know what? They are lifters. They lift me up so much. And when you're going through hard things and rough things, whether it be personal or business, you know what? They're here to help, and we're here to help. We're here to, you know, help you to change your perspective and to help you to regain that go get it attitude. And so I just wanted to just say that tonight and start off with that, because it's just been something that's been on my heart, and I wanted to share it with you guys. But you know, just take that for what it's worth. And again, there are obstacles that you'll have in your business as well. In fact, we were debating about whether or not to bring it up beforehand. Letitia and I were talking, because INFINii does have some incredible tools that are available for its members. The auto lister, which, you know, lists products for you onto eBay right through the INFINii back office, and it also tracks items for you. And recently we've been having some issues with it that have been a little frustrating. And, you know, I'm not going to be the one to shy away from when things aren't going, you know, exactly perfect, that we don't tell anybody. You know, I like to be more transparent, because, you know, that's just who I am. I'm not afraid of putting stuff out there if something's going on, and I'm going to be afraid of like repercussions. I'd rather people know and be like, you know what, they're working on it, we're fixing it, and just acknowledge the issue. But I was just talking to Letitia about this. I'm gonna let her come out and talk about it, because we were talking about the eBay listings and what happens when things are wrong, and you know, and I wanted her to kind of walk you through. She didn't let it stop her. I mean, you notice that there's a problem, and then she was like, all right, well, here's what I'm gonna do to fix it. So I wanted to bring her out, and Letitia, hey, come on out, and you know, just tell everybody a little bit about that. I mean, you can tell people what's going good, what's not going so good, and like what you've been doing to fix it, and work with the team, and just go ahead and share it.
Thanks, Julie. Like you said, we have some really great tools, and the automatic lister creator is one of my favorite things that they came out with, because it's so easy to use, and it cuts my time of listing items down. I mean, by a lot. You know, it used to take me a good 10-15 minutes when I was manually listing them on eBay. Now it takes me 2 or 3. once in a while, maybe 4 or 5 if I have to go resize an image, which doesn't happen often. And then they came out with the tracker, and I was over the moon happy about this because I hated that I was paying another company to track my items because I was having to do double the work. I would list the item, and then I'd have to go back to the other company and let the other company know I had listed it and give them all the same information I'd already put into listing the item. And, you know, I still get on my phone all day long little bleeps letting me know that they've done price changes or stock has gone out or new stock has come in, and I love that. But once in a while, it doesn't work for me. I do have over 400 items listed, and currently it's only tracking 317 of them. And the others, it's not recognizing, or I'll get it tracking for a day, and then for some reason it falls out. And those are frustrations that everybody has to deal with in a business. Not everything's going to run smoothly. And I have days that I want to like throw something at my computer because I'm trying to get this taken care of. But in the long run, you know, there's bigger issues that could be happening that are not happening. So what, I have a couple items that I have to go in on a regular basis and double checks. You know, some days I spend an extra hours fighting with the computer that I could have been doing something else, but my business is still running. I'm still selling items. And so those things help me to put it all in perspective. You know, when Joseph and myself first started this, I was wary of it. I was like, this isn't going to work. This is just another one of those schemes that we're going to end up getting caught up in and losing a bunch of money in. Well, the bottom line is we haven't lost any money in this, and we've made money. After 3 months, we were making as much doing our eBay store as I was making at my job. So that made me like, oh, I don't have to go to my job. Like, we can still make our bills and take care of our kids, and I can stay home and do this. And if I continue to do this and build it, it'll get better. And so I scaled down my job instead of my business. And, you know, I will admit, after a couple months, we took a little dip. Sales kind of fizzled out a little bit, not completely. And I panicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to start picking up hours at work again because this is not working. And then, you know, my kids put so many great things into my mind that you wouldn't think would come from a kid. But my kid was like, Mom, he's like, I don't like that you're going back to work a lot. He was like, I thought you were going to quit and just do the computer thing. He was like, I thought the computer thing made you happy, and it makes me happy because you're here at the house. And I was like, you know, I can't give up just because I'm having a bad month. Yes, I did have to pick up a few hours, you know, to cover the fact that I was having a bad month, but I had that option to do that. So, but I also had the option to go back and look at what I was doing wrong. What am I doing that's not working? Why am I not getting the sales I was getting? And it was little things, you know, changing a couple titles here and there, going back and putting in UPC codes that I didn't put in the first place. Realizing that seasonal items need to go up a little bit sooner than what I was putting them up. You know, here I am in back to school mode because my kids are out for the summer and school starts back for us here in New York in September. And I know that a lot of the southern schools actually are starting back in a few days. So I was like, oh, I got to get all this back to school stuff on. And then I hit the dollar store and I see Halloween galore. I'm like, oh no, Halloween is at least another month away. And I'm like, nope, if the stores are selling it, I should be selling it. And you know, I've sold not 1, but 4 Halloween items this week. So again, it's about perspective. It's about stepping back and saying, okay, what can I do to make things right? I can't always count on the computer or on the tracker or even somebody else to make my business do what I need it to do. I have to count on myself to do that. So even when my tools get me frustrated and make me want to pull out my hair, I have to stop and think, is there another way around this? Is there a way for me still to get the results I need to do? And usually by the time I do those other extra steps, somebody else has already gone and fixed the problem with the tools, so the tools are working again. And, you know, that's really just where you have to stick with it and stay, is going, okay, things aren't working right now. What can I do to keep them working until my tools are working again? And they do. They always do come back online. It may not, they may go back down, but they do come back. So I'm going to pause for a minute because my child is here.
No problem. And see, so we are real people with real kids who come in, and mine actually did, I did get mine to bed. So luckily they are not coming out here and coming out on the Hangout with me, which I have had them do, gosh, this was a while ago, but I've had children come out too. So, but thank you, Letitia, for that awesome information. And I really just, I loved everything you said. I mean, it was just so spot on. I mean, you talked about, like, this is your business. It is a business, and you have to run it like one. And sometimes things aren't always perfect. Sometimes they just aren't. Sometimes they are, and sometimes, and when they're not perfect, you have to, I mean, you can't be like Chicken Little and run around like it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. You know, there's, you know, you have to just take some time, you know, assess it, you know, we you know, send in tickets to support to get a conversation going, to work it out. It's important to do that. And letting your uplines know so they can get it to corporate if need be. I mean, you know, it's just really important that that you know that this is an extremely lucrative and viable business. I mean, when you get going and you stay going and you start making some sales, you start getting some momentum, you start building up your eBay account, and your Amazon account for that matter. I mean, things really, they just start moving. Now, yeah, sometimes things can happen, and it may be because, you know, maybe, and sometimes it is eBay. So, you know, sometimes it's just eBay. Sometimes it's not our tools. You know, sometimes, like Letitia said, they may change their policy, and now, oh, hey, we require UPC codes down. Well, that came in, and then they started taking people's listings down. I mean, stuff does happen, but you can recuperate. You can recuperate from it. You absolutely can. And, you know, the training that we teach, I mean, it absolutely does work. There's so many people making really excellent money with this business model, that you have to, you know, you just have to persevere. Now, I know I do eBay as well, but I spend a lot of time on Amazon, and I'm going to tell you, sometimes I have issues over there too. You know, I sell products on Amazon, and sometimes, you know, they slow down, and, you know, and instead of freaking out, what I do is I run little tests. I might change my main picture, some pictures in my listing, to see if that makes a difference, because those are so powerful on Amazon, and they really can make a huge difference. You tweak little things, you'll try different things. You look at what your competition's doing, and you kind of see, you know, where am I falling short, or what are they doing that I'm not doing, and are they including anything? So, you know, you just, sometimes you have to do that. You know, it's not all the time, but it does happen, and it's just part of your business. But of course, the more you do, the more products you get up, and the more the things that you have in there, the better results, the more even your business is going to be, because you're not just relying on a couple of things, right? You're not just relying on 100 listings, or you're not just relying on a couple of products. You have, I mean, the more you put up, and the more you possibly can get in, and the problems kind of even out when you have more up there, and when you're managing it correctly. So, you know, I just wanted to talk about this tonight. I know we did, because you know, sometimes things in life aren't perfect. You know what? No things in life are perfect. It's life. It's not perfect, and it never will be. Sometimes it's really messy, and sometimes, you know, it's, you know, picked up, but there's always going to be times when you have to walk through the mess, but you know, it's just temporary. You know, you can pick it up, and then it'll be all good for a while. So that's just kind of what we wanted to share with you tonight. I think we got across the main points. And so if you are currently in INFINii and maybe experiencing frustration with how fast your business is going or different results and things, I mean, do reach out to us. You know, the Top Team is an amazing group. If you have questions, if you have problems, I mean, you can post them in our group, and we have a lot of people who will get back to you and answer your questions and help you. But I do want to just remind people that, listen, you know, it's your success is based on what you got going on up here. The actual doing part is the easy part. You know, once you learn how to do it, it's quite simple. But you have to keep your mind right. You have to know that if it gets hard, you're still going to do it. You're not going to, you know, because your business can only grow if you're going to persevere and stay with it. It's a business, and any business runs like that. Every single one. It doesn't matter if you're a brick and mortar, if you're an online business, if you're, you know, whatever it is, you have to, you know, roll with the punches when they come, because they always do. So I hope if anybody has any frustrations out there, whether in life, whether you have a situation that is frustrating, hurtful, sad, whatever it is, frustrating, just know that, you know, you can get through it. You absolutely can. You know, just keep your mind right. You know, realize the things in life that you have to be grateful for. You know, and don't give up, because if you give up, you'll never get what you want. You'll never get where you desire to go. You'll never accomplish the change that you want in your life. And that would be devastating. That would be tragic, because you deserve it. You can do it. And if you have some frustrations with your business, it's the same thing. If you really want it, I'm like, don't give up, because every single person that's been on this Hangout, every person on this team that's had success, I promise you, they've had slips, trips, and falls. They've had hurts, they've had hang-ups, they've had issues, but the reason why they're so successful is because they didn't give up. They didn't give up. They stuck with the course, and they did it. So thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm just going to keep it kind of short for tonight, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. Lucia, thank you so much for sharing, because you really gave some great insights. Anything left you have to share?
You know, Julie, I love doing these Hangouts with you, and I just want to say, because you brought up the team, that, you know, once again, Top Team is the place to be. Everybody there has gone through something, and they've all learned by trial and error and from each other. And you always should, if you have frustrations or just questions, or you're just unsure of something, ask, because someone there is going to have something to say about it and how to deal with it. We've had a lot of really good questions lately of what to do about returns and refunds. And those are, once again, those are all things in a business that we have to deal with. And nobody likes to have to deal with a return or a refund, but it does happen. And there's just, once again, so you just plow through things. And even with life, you know, this business has allowed me to be home so that I can deal with one of the biggest things that life has thrown at us. And that's our 6-year-old, the one that actually just came in his underwear, which is why I was like trying to keep him back out of the camera. I'm like, no, do not come over here, you know. But he's you know, we're fighting an uphill battle for him, because he's going to be 7, and they don't want to diagnose him with a mental health issue. They just want to say that he's a boy with hyperactive disorders, and there's more to it. There's sensory overloads and behaviors there that go way beyond what is there. And when I was at my job, I couldn't put time into him, and I couldn't put time into fighting the schools and stuff to say, no, listen, he needs focus, and he needs services that are not for hyperactive kids, because he's not hyperactive. He's fidgety, and he doesn't look at things, but he hears and picks up everything. And so regardless of whether you're struggling at home or with your family or in your job or with the business, you just got to keep that mindset that you can do this, and that it's going to be something successful for you. And be worth your time. And this has definitely been worth my time because it's given me time. And there's a lot of things that I did wrong in the beginning, or I was scared to even try to do, that by having TopTeam and being able to ask questions about it, that's helped me push through and be like, oh, well, this isn't so bad. I can do this. So where there's a will, there's a way on everything.
Absolutely. Freedom.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And thank you everybody who took time out to come hang out with us tonight. We are always open to questions. We're always open to topics that you want us to cover. You know, go ahead and put it, if you're watching this on the Hangout pages, go ahead and put your comments. We will go in there and we will check those comments and get back to you on that. We always address them. So thank you all for joining us tonight, and we will see you live next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Good night.